Welcome to the lecture on job sequencing and replacement theory, module 4. In this module, we will discuss how to select the best machine out of the available machines with capital cost and maintenance cost. We then will discuss the replacement problem for items which fail completely. Here, we will consider two cases, individual replacement and group replacement. Suppose that we have two machines M1 and M2 and we have to select the best among these two machines M1 and M2. The data determining the best replacement age of each type of machines are given. In the problem of selecting the best machine, the costs that are constant over time for each machine will have to be taken into account, although these costs may differ for each machine, and only those costs that are same for the machines under comparison can be excluded. The best selection of machine can be done by following the steps. In step 1, we have to first find the best replacement age for machine M1 as well as machine M2 by using the relation Rn plus 1 is greater than Fn by sigma V to the power n minus 1, which is greater than Rn. Let the optimum replacement ages for machines M1 and M2 be N1 and N2 respectively. And then we compute the weighted average cost for each machine by using the formula x equal to C plus R1 plus R2 V plus dot 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 plus Rn V to the power n minus 1 divided by 1 plus B plus V square plus dot 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 plus V to the power n minus 1. And then we substitute in this formula n equal to N1 for machine M1 and n equal to N2 for machine M2. Let it be x1 and x2 for machine M1 and M2 respectively. If x1 is less than x2, then we choose machine M1, and if x1 is greater than x2, then we choose machine M2. If however, x1 equal to x2, then both the machines are equally good. So, any one of the two machines can be chosen. This method can be extended to any number of machines, say k machines M1, M2 up to Mk, and in general we first find the best replacement ages and the corresponding weighted average costs x1, x2 up to xk for all k machines. Then we select the machine corresponding to the least weighted average cost. Let us take an example and see how can we select the best machine from the two machines, say A and B. A manufacturer is offered two machines A and B. A is priced rupees 5,000 and running costs are estimated at rupees 800 for each of the first 5 years, increasing by rupees 200 per year in the 6th and subsequent years. Machine B, which has the same capacity as A, costs rupees 2,500, but will have running cost rupees 1,200 per year for 6 years, increasing by rupees 200 per year thereafter. If money is worth 10% per year, the problem is which machine should he purchase. Assume that machines will eventually be sold for scrap at a negligible price. Since money is worth 10% per year, the discount rate V is equal to 1 by 1 plus 0.1, which is equal to 0.9091. Therefore, the optimum replacement age N must satisfy the relation Rn plus 1 is greater than C plus R1 plus R2 into V plus dot 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 plus Rn V to the power n minus 1 divided by 1 plus B plus B square plus dot 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 plus V to the power n minus 1, which is greater than Rn for the first time. So, to find the best replacement age N, we tabulate the results for machine A. In this table, the first column shows the years, second one is the running costs, and third one represents the present worth factor. Similarly, we calculate for the V to the power n minus 1 Rn in the fourth column, and then Fn in the fifth, and next column sigma Vn minus 1, and finally in the last column Fn by sigma V to the power n minus 1. And from this result, we see that R10 is the greater value than the weighted average cost for 9 years, which is rupees 1,750, and this indicates that it would be best to replace the machine A after 9 years, since the maintenance cost is more than the average weighted cost here. Average weighted cost for 9 years and the maintenance cost for the 10th year. In a similar fashion, the best replacement age for machine B can be calculated. The calculations are shown in the next table. And from the table, we see that R9 is greater than the weighted average for 8 years. Therefore, it would be best to replace machine B after 8 years. The equivalent fixed annual payment for machine B is X2, which is equal to the weighted average for 8 years and which is equal to rupees 1680. Since X1 is greater than X2, it would be better to purchase machine B instead of A. We now proceed to discuss replacement problem for items that fail completely. First, we will consider the individual replacement policy. Under this policy, an item is immediately replaced as soon as it fails. We now state and prove a very important theorem, which is called mortality theorem. The theorem is like this: a large population is subject to a given mortality law for a very long period of time, and all deaths are immediately replaced by births, and there are no other entries or exits. We can show that the age distribution ultimately becomes stable in the steady state, that the number of deaths for unit time becomes constant. To prove this theorem, suppose that each death occurs just before time t equal to w, where w is an integer and no member of the population can survive longer than w plus 1 time units. That is, lifespan of each member lies between 0 and w. Let f t be the number of births at time t and p x be the probability that a member will die just before age x plus 1, that is at age x. Since f t minus x represents the number of births at time t minus x, the age of those members who remain alive at time t will obviously be x. The figure shows that at time t minus x the age is 0, and therefore, at time t the age should be x, and at time t plus 1 the age should be x plus 1. Since the probability of dying of members at age x is p x, therefore, the expected number of deaths of such alive members at time t is p x into f t minus x. Hence, the total number of deaths at time t is equal to sigma x equal to 0 to w f t minus x into p x, where t takes the values w, w plus 1, w plus 2 and so on. Also, the total number of births at time t plus 1 is equal to f t plus 1. Since all deaths are immediately replaced by births, therefore, we can write f t plus 1 equal to summation x equal to 0 to w f t minus x into p x. The solution of differential equation 1 in t can be obtained by making use of f t equal to a alpha to the power x. Then the equation 1 becomes a alpha to the power t plus 1 is equal to a into summation x equal to 0 to w alpha to the power t minus x into p x. If we divide the both sides by a into alpha to the power t minus w, then we simply get alpha to the power w plus 1 is equal to summation x equal to 0 to w alpha to the power w minus x into p x, and which gives alpha to the power w plus 1 minus alpha to the power w into p 0 plus alpha to the w minus 1 into p 1 plus dot 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 plus p w, which is equal to 0. And obviously, this is a linear homogeneous difference equation of degree w plus 1, and thus it has exactly w plus 1 roots. Let the roots be alpha 0, alpha 1, alpha 2 up to alpha w. Now, since the sum of the probabilities is equal to 1, we have 1 minus p 0 plus p 1 plus p 2 plus dot 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 p w equal to 0. Now, if we compare equation 2 and 3, then we see that one solution of equation 2 is clearly 1, which we take alpha 0 equal to 1. The most general solution of difference equation 1 will be of the form f t equal to a 0 plus a 1 alpha to the power t plus a 2 alpha 2 to the power t plus dot 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 a w alpha w to the power t, where a 0, a 1, a 2 dot 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 a w are constants whose values are to be determined. It can be shown that the mod value of alpha I is less than 1 for all I equal to 1 to up to w. Hence, each of alpha 1 t, alpha 2 t to alpha w t tends to 0 as t tends to infinity, and consequently, the equation 4 becomes f t equal to a 0, which is a constant and our problem is to now find the value of A0. Let the probability of survivor for more than x time units be capital P x. Then we have capital P x equal to 1 minus probability of survivor will die before attaining the age x, which is nothing but 1 minus P 0 plus P 1 plus P 2 plus dot 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 up to P x minus 1, and obviously we have P 0 equal to 1. Since the number of births and deaths have become constant is equal to A 0, the expected number of survivor of age x is A 0 into capital P x. Since deaths are immediately replaced by births and n is the size of the total population, which is constant, therefore, we must have n equal to A 0 into sigma capital P x, where x varies from 0 to w, and this gives A 0 equal to n by sigma x equal to 0 to w capital P x. Now, the number of survivors aged 0, 1, 2, 3 can be computed from the relation n equal to A 0 into sigma x equal to 0 to w P x as A 0, A 0 P 1, A 0 P 2 and so on. Finally, if the denominator in 6, that is sigma P x x equal to 0 to w is equivalent to mean age at death, then the age distribution will ultimately become stable. So, to prove this result, we proceed as follows. We have sigma x equal to 0 to w P x is equal to sigma x equal to 0 to w P x into delta x, since delta x is equal to x plus 1 minus x equal to 1 by finite difference. And if we simplify it, we can get sigma x equal to 0 to w P x is equal to P w plus 1 into w plus 1 minus 0 minus sigma x equal to 0 to w x plus 1 into delta P x. But P w plus 1 is nothing but 1 minus P 0 minus P 1 minus P 2 dot 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 minus P w, and which is obviously equal to 0. And similarly, we can calculate the delta P x, which is P x plus 1 minus P x. Substituting the values of P x plus 1 and P x, we get delta P x is equal to minus P x. And then putting this result, we get summation x equal to 0 to w P x capital P x is equal to summation x equal to 0 to w x plus 1 into small p x, which is equal to summation y equal to 1 to w plus 1 y into p y minus 1. If we substitute x plus 1 equal to y, then we get this result, and which can be written as summation y equal to 1 to w plus 1 into y into probability of age at death is y. So, p y minus 1 equal to probability of age at death is y. That means, this is the expected age at death. Thus, we proved this theorem. We were discussing the individual replacement policy and mortality theorem. In the mortality theorem, we have assumed the problem of human population, and we have also considered two assumptions such that the deaths are replaced immediately by births and there are no other exits or entries. The reason for this assumption is that These assumptions have made the analysis more easy when we consider the virtual human population. Further, we can consider this problem into our industrial problem, where deaths will be considered as failure or part failure, and births can be considered as new replacement. Let us now proceed to discuss on group replacement policy. In this policy, items are replaced at a fixed interval, whether the items have failed or not, with the provision that if any item fails before the optimal group replacement time, it may be replaced individually. We now state and prove a very important theorem of group replacement policy. The theorem states group replacement should be done at the end of tth period if the cost of individual replacements for the tth period is greater than the average cost per period through the end of tth period. And group replacement should not be done at the end of tth period if the cost of individual replacements at the end of t minus 1th period is less than the average cost per period through the end of tth period. We suppose that all items are replaced at fixed time interval t, whether they have failed or not, and failed items are replaced as and when they fail. Let n t be the number of units failing during time t, and capital N be the total number of units in the system. C t as the cost of group replacement after time period t, C 1 is the individual replacement cost on failure, and C 2 is the per unit cost of replacement in a group. Then clearly we have C t equal to C 1 into n 1 plus n 2 plus dot 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 up to n t minus 1. N 1, N 2, N t minus 1 are the numbers units failed during time period 1, 2 and t minus 1 respectively. And then in the tth period, the group replacement is done. So, all n units are replaced at the cost of C 2 per unit. So, C t equal to C 1 into n 1 plus n 2 plus dot 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 n t minus 1 plus C 2 into n, and therefore, the average cost per unit period is F t equal to C t by t. Now, in order to determine the replacement as t, the average cost per period F t should be minimum, and for that the condition is delta F t minus 1 less than 0 less than delta F t. By finite difference, we find delta t equal to F t plus 1 minus F t. After simplification, we get delta F t equal to C 1 n t minus C t by t whole divided by t plus 1, and which must be greater than 0 for minimum of F t, and this gives C 1 n t is greater than C t by t. Similarly, from delta F t minus 1 less than 0, we can get C 1 n t minus 1 is less than C t by t, and if we combine these two results, then we get C 1 n t minus 1 less than C t by t, which is less than C 1 n t, and this completes the group replacement policy. Now, we will take an example to demonstrate the policy. At time 0, all items in a system are new, and each item has a probability q, which is 1 minus p, of failing immediately before the end of second month. That is, all items fail by the end of second month. If all the items are replaced as they fail, then the expected number of failures fx at the end of month x can be obtained as fx equal to n by 1 minus q whole into 1 minus q whole to the power x plus 1, where n is the number of items in the system. Now, if the cost per item of individual replacement is C1 and cost per item of group replacement is C2, then we have to find under which a group replacement policy at the end of each month is most profitable, and also we have to find a group replacement policy at the end of every other month is most profitable, and the condition under which no group replacement policy is better than a policy of pure individual replacement in the steady state. Let capital Ni be the expected number of replacements or failures made at the end of ith month if n items are new initially. Then n0 equal to number of items in the system initially, which is equal to n, n1 equal to the number of items expected to fail at the end of first month, which is equal to n0 into p. Note that number of items expected to fail at the end of second month, the probability of failure at the end of second month is q, which is 1 minus p. Therefore, the probability of failure at the end of first month is p. Therefore, we can find the expected number as n0 into p, which is equal to n into 1 minus q. Similarly, we can calculate n2 as the number of items expected to fail at the end of second month, n0 into q. So, n0 is the number of items initially. So, at the end of second month the probability is q. Therefore, we have n0 into q, and n1 items which have is 1 month only. So, the expected number of failures would be equal to n1 into p. So, in total n2, the number of items expected to fail at the end of second month will be equal to n0 into q plus n1 into p, which is equal to n into 1 minus q plus q square. By the similar arguments, we can find n3 and so on, and finally, we can get nk. Therefore, nk plus 1 will be equal to nk minus 1 into q plus nk into p, and after simplification we get nk plus 1 equal to n into 1 minus q plus q square minus q plus dot 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 plus minus q whole to the power k plus 1. Hence, by induction the expected number of replacements at the end of month x, we can write easily f x equal to n into 1 minus q plus q square plus dot 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 up to minus q whole to the power x, and which is nothing but n into 1 minus q whole to the x plus 1 by 1 plus q, and this proves the first part of this example. Now, in the steady state, the expected number of individual replacements is equal to limit x tends to infinity f x, putting the value of f x from equation 8, we can find the expected number as n by 1 plus q. Alternatively, by using mortality theorem, the number of failures per unit time can be obtained as capital N by mean age at failure, and mean age at failure is nothing but age 1 into the probability p plus age 2 into the probability q, which is ultimately we get n by 1 plus q, since p plus q equal to 1. Therefore, the average cost per month for pure individual replacement policy will be C1 n divided by 1 plus q. Now, the average cost per month for group replacement policy at the end of first month, N1 is the number of items failed, so N1 into C1, and then at the end of first month, if the group replacement is done, then the cost would be n into C2. So, in total it is n into 1 minus q into C1 plus n into C2. Thus, a group replacement policy at the end of first month will be better than the pure individual policy if this condition holds. N into 1 minus q into C1 plus n into C2 is less than n C1 divided by 1 plus q, which gives C2 is less than q square into C1 divided by 1 plus q. Similarly, the average cost per month for group replacement policy at the end of second month can be obtained as the average cost of first 2 months. N1 plus N2 into C1 is the cost for individual replacements, N1 for the first month, N1 is the number of items failed in the first month, N2 is the number of items failed in the second month. So, if we replace, then we will get the cost N1 plus N2 into C1, and for the group replacement we have the cost N into C2. So, we get the average cost for the first 2 months as n into 1 minus q plus half into q square plus half into n C2. Here the group replacement policy will be better than pure individual replacement policy if n into 1 minus q plus half into q square plus half n C2 is less than n C1 by 1 plus q, and which gives C2 is less than q square C1 by 1 plus q. Now, if no group replacement policy is better than a pure individual replacement policy for the first and second month, then we must have to satisfy both the conditions, that is C2 must be greater than C1 q square by 1 plus q, and C2 must be greater than C1 q square into 1 minus q divided by 1 plus q, that is C1 must be less than 1 plus q into C2 by q square, and C1 must be less than 1 plus q into C2 by 1 minus q whole into q square. Since q is less than 1 and 1 plus q by q square is less than 1 plus q divided by q square into 1 minus q, we can get the condition as C1 is less than 1 plus q into C2 by q square. In this module, we have discussed how to select the best machine among the available machines with different capital costs and maintenance costs. We have also discussed the replacement problem when the items fail completely. Here we have considered 2 policies: individual replacement policy, where In the group replacement policy, items are replaced at a fixed interval with the provision that the items, if failed in the interval, those are replaced as and when failed. The replacement policies which were discussed in this chapter are not only applicable to the industrial problems, but these policies can be applied to practical problems such as recruitment problem. With these comments, we conclude this module as well as this chapter.